Good afternoon, super friends, and welcome to the Friday, June 12th edition of the Sacred News and Weather. I just want you to know that I shot a video this morning with full-blown bedhead, and it ended up being 28 minutes long. And I just listened to it now. I hesitated in posting it. I just listened to it now, and there's a reason why I didn't post it this morning. So now I'm coming back to you. My cold has morphed into a sinus infection. I'm a little bit under the weather. My throat is funny. I'm a little bit of a hot mess, but I do want to get this message out. I just don't want to get it out in 28 minutes. And I think the reason why I was so meandering with it is because it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable message. I feel like I'm going to be giving someone information that they did not actually want to know, but that they already knew deep within. You already know, if this is your message, what I am about to say. And if it isn't your message, I want you to tune out immediately because it's sensitive and it's a little awkward. And so I'm just going to do my best to deliver it and to let it go. And I'm going to pause for a minute and clear my throat. Hang on one second. Okay, I think you could even hear like in my throat chakra. I have some energy around sharing this because what I don't want to have happen is that it comes into you and you take it in and it is not your message. So in particular with this message today, if this is not your message, do not try and make it your message. Do not try and fit your situation into this situation. And I'm going to use the word situation because the first thing I heard was in a very specific voice, I am not a situationship. And I heard it and it made me giggle because I think I know who the voice is, even though it's not someone that I have been in contact with in any recent times. I heard that voice and I was like, you go, girl. No, you are not a situationship. You are actually the grand prize. And I thought this morning that this is where I was going to be going, that I was going to be staying with this energy. But the reality is that you, if this is your message, you already know this. You are already in your power. And the reason why I know that you are already in your power is because I can see what is coming toward you. There is an entity coming toward you that is very much for you. Even though there's a part of you, I feel like you could equally be shouting the I am not a situationship to the entity coming toward you, as if to say, I am not ready for you. But what I am seeing is that the reason this entity is coming toward you is because you are, in fact, ready for it. Whether this entity is a relationship or a new job or a new place to live, like something is coming toward you. You are magnetizing it toward you. So it is like equally coming from you and inviting something toward you as what is coming toward you is coming toward you. And that part of the message took me a long time to unpack in this morning's version, but I'm just going to give it to you like this now. And this part doesn't make me particularly uncomfortable. The part that makes me a little bit uncomfortable and that I really want you to leave behind if this isn't for you is that I can see where over here there is another entity, and this is very likely the energy that made you feel, that had you feeling like they were trying to put you into a situationship. Like, I am not going to commit to you, I am not going to claim you. It is going to be a situationship, and you must follow my rules. You must abide by my wishes and desires. And in doing so, it left you feeling like they were trying to put you in a situationship. But what I can see over here is that that was not actually the intent. What was happening over here was really an intent for this energy to take back control of their life. Male, female, it doesn't matter. I saw it as masculine, but that does not mean that it's masculine. The feeling was I'm trying to enact control on the only part of my life that feels like I can claim some control. So I'm going to control it in this way. And then as soon as that message was delivered in whatever way it came through to you, it registered as they don't love me. They want to put me in a situationship. They want to have their cake and eat it too. And no way, I'm not staying here for that. But what I can see here, what I can feel here is almost almost an instant regret, or if not instant regret, then shortly thereafter, there was this feeling of regret and this feeling of, oh shit, what have I done? That is not what I was trying to do. But by that point, it felt too late or like too much for this entity to even look at, to even deal with. And so even more time and even more space grew, and even more of a frequency of like, that asshole, that motherfucker, that jerk is trying to put me in a situationship and I am not here for it. In the meantime, something has shifted over here. And what has shifted over here is a waking up, a longing, a how do I fix this? I'm not sure I can fix this. I don't know if this is fixable. But in that feeling coming from this place, I can also see where for some of you, while they were not intending to put you in a situationship, they actually very much did. And this is the very narrow piece that I want to talk about here that has not come forward in, and I've been channeling, I feel like I've been channeling into these energies for a while now, and then it kind of went by the wayside. And I feel like it's back today on Friday, June 2nd, no, June 12th. I feel like it's back today on Friday, June 12th, because something is happening with Chiron. I don't know what it is that is happening with Chiron, but I feel like the same wounding that might have sent this into the ending of a relationship, the ending of a situationship, that same frequency, there's something about what is happening today in the stars and in the energy that this is all coming up, maybe for multiple energies in here, which is why this message is coming forward. But the piece that I want to share here that may not be for you, and I want you to leave it behind if it isn't, is that there was some accidental or intentional situationship happening in two ways. And I'm going to tell you the two ways that came forward today. Take them if they're yours, leave them behind if they're not. But one way is I could see where this person was unintentionally putting you in a third party situation whereby the third party was either work or some other past relationship or some other past part of their life that was taking up their full-time mental, emotional, spiritual space in their being, which pushed you away and created that situationship feeling in your being. That's one way it's coming through. Another thread of energy that I'm catching on and into is a similar vein, but this one is a little trickier, a little sneakier in that this energy, if this is your person, if this is your situation, this energy was putting you in a third party situation, but they were trying their best to not see it that way because this third party was a past relationship that was not over. And what might have come out of their mouth, what might have been received by you is something along the lines of, oh, we're just friends, or we just have all of these things in common that we are trying to tie up. I'm just tying up loose ends. And so there was a certain amount of innocence to it in that storyline of I'm just tying up loose ends. You are my person. This is what I want. I am here, not over there. But what was actually happening was this quiet flip-flopping of, am I tying up loose ends or am I keeping my options open? And what was being unsaid was that quiet, and it might have been conscious, it might have been unconscious. I am keeping my options open. And though I am not maybe being physically intimate with this person, I am very much being spiritually, mentally, emotionally intimate with this person. And I'm keeping just enough open so that it is creating a frequency that you might have been feeling, if this is the energy that you're identifying with, that you might have been feeling, that might have been leaving you feeling like, I am not the only person. I am not the primary person. There is something off here. And so if this sounds familiar to you, I want to honor that this may very well have been happening. And there are varying degrees, depending upon your person, of consciousness and unconsciousness in the way this entity was being kept open. I do feel like what caused the rupture, what caused the space happening between you very much had to, or could very much have had to do with that door widening of I need to keep my options open in their mind, in their consciousness, or in their unconsciousness. So that is the second pathway. The third pathway that I'm seeing where you might have been put in a situationship is that there also might have been other outside energies that were on your person's radar, on this entity's radar, that they had said, no, but something shifted in the energy between the two of you. And that no suddenly became, well, maybe. And it's in that, well, maybe that you experienced something in your body that said, I am not the only person. This is a situationship. This is not what I want. This is not what I'm doing. And so your awareness, your spidey sense was not off, no matter what was coming from the mouth of this person here, from out of the mouth of, out of the behavior of. I can see where all three of these options may very much have been in play. And I just want you to find yourself here. And if you're not finding yourself, let them all go. But what I do see here in this energy is deep regret right now. There is deep regret and a deep understanding that your energy, if you are identifying as this energy here, that you are actually who, what, where, why, when, and how they always wanted to be and actually always felt, but that these other options, these other openings were ways of keeping themselves safe, ways of keeping themselves feeling safe and in control of something when they felt out of control because of the depth of the feelings that they were feeling for you and perhaps other circumstances outside of your relationship where they felt out of control. So this part came forward. The other part that I want to bring forward before I say enough is enough and I go take my kids to a pool party is that part of your reclaiming of your own energy, part of your healing, part of your work here that has allowed this to come forward and recognize, oh, you are my person. And now I need to figure out how and if I can get back here because you are now the gatekeeper. You get to say, yes, you may come back, or I'm going to open my energy over here, or maybe I'll stay open to both and see what happens. You get to be the gatekeeper. But I want to remind you, and here's a returning theme from a few weeks ago, and that is that you simply because you exist, you are a catalyst. Your energy is catalytic. And part of what might have caused the rupture and the discomfort here is the very truth of who you are, which is you are always up leveling, you are always peeling back layers, you are always looking more deeply into yourself. And as you do, you rise up. And this person had this feeling of I can't keep up. I can't keep up with that rise up. I just need like I feel so out of control. I feel so out of my element that I just need to stay here. And part of the options that were kept open was this false sense of easiness. Like I won't have to talk about it here. I can just coast. This will be easier. But what this entity is realizing is that that is not actual love, and that actual unconditional, beautiful, delicious love is going to be able to come from you if you are willing to let that person back in. And if that person is brave enough to come forward and say, hey, this is what I think happened, and I think I want back in. And so that is going to be up to you. It's also going to be up to that person. That person is a sovereign being as well. But it feels like that sovereign being is beginning to recognize his or her own sovereignty and recognizing what they actually want and what has actually happened. And you, as the gatekeeper, you, as your own sovereign individual, get to choose who, how, what, and where you want to be. And I can tell you in no uncertain terms that there is an energy, a new energy coming toward you, and you will have the opportunity to say yes or no. I'm also here to tell you that this energy may very well come forward, and you will have the opportunity to say yes or no. And so I want you, if you are identifying with this energy in the middle, I want you to go within and get really, really quiet and ask yourself, what it is that you desire most for yourself. Because I have the sense that some of you really just want to stay attuned to yourself and to not have to bring in the energy of others right now. And if that feels true for you, take your time. I'm seeing the image of the Four of Swords. Take your time, rest, understand who you are before inviting anyone or anything toward or back, whichever it is for you. But if someone is coming toward you, some opportunity is coming toward you, and you are inclined to say no, I really want you to check yourself, because what I feel like the place that you might be saying no is wounding and fear of losing yourself again, of getting hurt again, of being wounded again. And I don't want that fear to win. I want you to keep uncovering. I want you to keep rising up. And I want you to allow who or what is meant for you to come toward you and for you to continue to ready yourself to receive. Because in readying yourself to receive, it doesn't matter who, what, where, why, or when comes forward. You are magnetizing what is for you to you, and you get to be in choice about it from a healthy, connected place rather than from a wounded place. And I think I said it a lot more succinctly this afternoon than I did this morning. So thank you so much. Thank you, Spirit, for like letting me just be a vessel and letting me get it out without having to go on the grand tour of nothingness in between all the places and spaces in my brain. Thank you all for liking and sharing and subscribing, for tuning in. I will hopefully come in and see you tomorrow. It's another busy day and I still feel like crap. We'll see what we get, but I'm grateful you're here. Thank you.